Om Shanti. Good morning. Hope you had a nice long weekend and a good umbrella. So we were reading the Murli of March 31st of 1990. So Baba was focusing on this aspect of Behad ka Vairagya Vritti and the aspect of being merciful. So Baba was bringing more clarity to the aspect of being merciful towards the self, towards the family, towards the people by having this unlimited Vairag Vritti. So Baba started taking our attention to what is mercy and how if we don't have a balance between man buddhi due to various problems, they continue to call out with a lot of sorrow and out of desperation for the mercy. So this is what we have been doing on the path of bhakti, and same is what's going on. So when they are looking for mercy because out of sorrow, so they remember the founders, gurus, and other deities. But Baba is telling that nobody can be merciful other than Baba. The bestower is only the one. So, but Baba has created us to be merciful too. Merciful Baba is telling us children who are the cooperative hands of the Father. So that is Brahmin family is the cooperative family. So to answer the calls of the humanity, not only the Bhagats, everyone else. So there on that note, Baba goes in detail on how to be merciful, how we can have mercy for yourself, mercy for the family, become merciful for Agyanis, distressed souls belonging to our family. Mercy should be from your heart. Mercy is also needed to the unknown souls of the world. According to the time, merciful heart is needed for intense effort. So this is for the self. What does merciful heart do for us? It increases the speed and also effort for self progress, for the self and also of the Brahmin family. When you become merciful for yourself, for there to be self progress, you, the merciful soul, constantly and naturally have attitude of Vairagya Vritti. There should be mercy for the self. I am the same soul who belong to the highest on high Baba, and I have that same aim of becoming equal to Baba. And having that awareness itself is having mercy on ourselves. According to this, if there is any weakness in the original elevated nature and sanskaras, then the mercy in your heart will enable you to have disinterest in the weakness. Anything that has, if there are any shortcomings, when we compare to our original and eternal nature, swabhava sanskaras of our original elevated self, so then you have weakness. We have disinterest on that weakness that is stopping us from getting to where we actually are. And then Baba was taking for the deep, having this chit chat today. So in the chit chat, Baba was sharing more about Even devotees, they have two things. They are not afraid of Bab, but they are afraid of the Pap. Because of this, they don't commit sins. So that makes them safe. But those who do not have mercy do not know and understand, but they still become influenced by the three things. What are the three things? So Baba has actually shared, and later he shares about four things. It is alasya albelapan, grina, and uh, jealousy. Jealousy, what do we say in Hindi? So carelessness, jealousy, and dislike. So these are the three things that we are under the influence of. 90% of the reason for these three weaknesses in these three, those who are merciful have pure desire to stay away from the punishment of Dharmaraj. And Dharmaraj is Baba's companion. Just as devotees, due to fear and not carelessness, in the same way, and not careless, in the same way, because of love for Baba, Brahmin family do not become careless. Due to the fear of, sweet fear, that they would have to go through the land of Dharmaraj. The love for the father enables you to step away from that. Carelessness is the big part. The mercy in your heart finishes your carelessness. So that is what having mercy means for the self, not to have any carelessness. The carelessness is like Janki was once sharing. Carelessness and jealousy is when it happens when you have the capability to do it, but you don't do it, and somebody else does it, and then you feel jealous because they get the success. If you didn't have a capability, somebody else does and get the success, it does not bother you much. But if you're capable of doing it and then you still don't do it when you get a chance, then you become jealous. And then she was calling it out, especially when you have any capability, act on it. Ha, irsha, grina, alasya, albelapan. These are the four things that Baba was uh, wanting us to not to get under the influence of, right? So here Baba is telling, just because there is a fear of landing in Dharmaraj. What is Dharmaraj? Dharmaraj is nothing but repentance. What happens in Dharmapuri, Dharmarajpuri? So you will get a visions of all of these things, that you had opportunities, when you're doing it, and then you start repenting, and then there is nothing much you can do about it, and it hurts bad. And that is what Dharmarajpuri is. Like nobody is coming with a stick and then beating you, or like what is that Garuda Puran? Like they have all of these scary things. None of those scary things happen, but it is much more painful than all those things, because we get a vision of our own, what we did, what we were capable of doing, and we still didn't do it, or there is some other influences that made us or that forced us to do what we did. So all of that visions will come back, and then the repentance will be so painful. And that is what Baba says, like there is a fear. There's a fear that you may end up in Dharmarajpuri. Because of that fear, we let go of this carelessness. The love for the Father enables you to step away from that. The mercy in your heart finishes your carelessness. Mercy for who? Mercy for yourself, right? So when there are feelings of mercy for the self, then as is that attitude or the awareness, smriti and vritti, so you automatically become merciful for the whole family. Similarly, you approach, how you treat yourself is how you're going to treat your family, right? So if you feel that, oh, this is going to hurt me, when you see somebody who is close to you is also doing the same thing, you know it is going to hurt them, so you are going to protect them. And that itself is a mercy. So Baba is bringing that our attention to, when there are feelings of mercy for the self, then as is the vritti and smriti, so you automatically become merciful for the whole Brahmin family in the same way. And this is the accurate mercy based on knowledge. Mercy without knowledge can sometimes create a loss. But mercy based on knowledge does not allow feelings of jealousy or dislike, drina or irsha, for any souls to emerge in their heart. Because it is the love. If you love somebody and if they're going forward, you take pride in it. Like, say for example, the parents, if the children are going ahead, so they are climbing up the ladder of career ladder, or they are getting success in their life, who gets most take the pride is the parents. Why? Because they love the children. Similarly, Baba says there is no jealousy. Like, my son is going ahead of me. So that jealousy will not be there for parents. Why? Because of the law. So similarly, Baba is telling that mercy without knowledge can sometimes create a loss, but mercy based on knowledge does not allow feelings of jealousy or dislike for any soul to emerge in the heart. Together with mercy based on knowledge, there is also the intoxication of the spirituality for the self. Ruhani Nasha, that who am I, like the Nasha that Brahma Baba had. So I am going to become Krishna. I am Baba's child. I am Vishnu, right? So he has that Ruhani Nasha. So that and that Nasha is not based on ego or the role. That Nasha is based on aligning to who he is. For eternity, he is who he is. And that is uh, that nasha that is coming from eternity. Spirituality is nothing but eternal self. So once you align to that, that nasha will not have a side effect. There isn't simply mercy, but there is the balance between mercy and ruhani nasha. Rahim in ruhani nasha. This is because if it isn't mercy based on knowledge, if it is ordinary mercy, there is then the possibility of becoming influenced by the soul, whether in the form of attachment or weakness. If you attach to a soul, what will happen? And if you have a mercy and you attach to the soul, so what will happen? It will hurt us. Because somebody you love and they are doing something wrong, it hurts, like parents. If the child is capable of doing something and then they're still not studying, right? They're still not progressing, and it really hurts them, right? Uh, whether it is attachment or weakness, so then it will create problem. You must not even become impressed. If you impress, like, oh, they are going ahead, they're really good, so then you become their buggers, right? like like we really appreciate what Shivani Ben is doing, but if you're so impressed with Shivani Ben, you let go of Baba, and then you start listening to Shivani Ben's classes rather than listening to Murli's. It's like, I don't understand what Shibaba, he keeps saying the same thing in the Murlis. And then you start listening to Shivani Ben. So then what will happen? In other words, there is this overriding of getting so impressed with the soul that you let go of the father, the very one who is going to make you powerful, right? And the very person that Shivani Ben is telling to do, you won't do that. You just become their bhagats, right? She is telling go and listen to the Murli. She is reading Murli, and then still they still listen to her classes rather than Murli. So then it is being impressed, right? You should not have dislike or become impressed, because you, including your body, mind, and intellect, are already impressed by the Father. So if you are impressed by Baba, There is nothing that can impress more than Baba in the world. So that is where Baba is bringing our attention to. Right? Let me see this comment. Irsha, Grina, Prabhavit Hona and Alvelapan. Yes, that's right. Okay, so including your body, mind, and intellect, you're already impressed by Baba. Okay, so even in Sunday's Murli, Baba was telling about like follow Father, follow Brahma Baba. Since the mind and the intellect have become impressed by the one, the highest on high, how can they be impressed by anyone else? What would you say if you become impressed by others? To use for yourself that which you have given away is called being dishonest with something you have entrusted with. So Baba has given us. So if we start misusing, or so then it is dishonesty. So I think today's Mulya also Baba was talking about that. Mm, uh, I think in the blessing, Baba was telling about like follow Baba's orders, like Sita was given the order to stay within the line. So if we don't stay within that spiritual awareness, so then we cross the border. So then it becomes dishonesty, right? So to use for yourself that which has given away is called being dishonesty with something you have been entrusted with. Since you have given your mind and intellect away to Baba, they do not remain yours, that they should be impressed, that they could be impressed. Have you entrusted them to Baba, or have you kept half and given half? Those who have given them fully, raise your hands. Look, what is the foundation, the great mantra of Brahmin life? Manmanaba. So, have you not become Manmanaba? A soul that is merciful on the basis of knowledge cannot be impressed by any soul, whether it is because of their virtues or their service, or because of attaining some form of cooperation from them. Due to such a soul having unlimited disinterest, he does not see anything except Baba's love, his cooperation, and his company. Nothing else enters his intellect. This soul always have the awareness. I wake up with you, I go to sleep with you, I eat with you, I do service with you, I become a karma yogi with you. So, with you, who? With Baba. Since if if he does take cooperation from an elevated soul, who is the bestower of that soul? So the intellect would only go towards Baba, would it not? Take cooperation, but do not forget who the bestower is. Whose direction do they imbibe to give you cooperation? Srimat is only of the one Father. When an instrument soul reminds you of Baba Srimat, it is not said to be Srimat of that soul, but the soul follows the Father's Srimat and reminds others to follow it too. Instrument souls are elevated souls. Instrument souls and the elevated souls will never say, follow my directions. My directions are Srimat. Like Shivani will never says, follow me. She will say that go listen to Murli, go to the center, listen to the Murli. My directions are Srimad. They will never say that. They remind you of the Srimad once again. This is called accurately taking cooperation and giving cooperation. It is not said to be Srimad of Didi or Dadi. They become instruments and remind you of the power of the Srimad. This is why you must never be impressed with any soul. If you are impressed with anyone in any respect, whether it is because of the praise of that one's name, that one's beauty or speciality, your intellect will become trapped due to attachment and being impressed. Then getting impressed is also a form of attachment. Then if you have attachment to something, you get stuck. It's another maya, another chain. So the very foundation of the whole of the very aim is to get free, become free from all of this thing. Then if your intellect becomes trapped, there cannot be the flying stage. You can even become impressed with yourself. My intellect is very good planning intellect. My knowledge is very clear. No one else can do service in the way that I can do. I have an, and this is all what? This is all ego. And ego is nothing but body consciousness. So, very thing, why did we come to Baba? To get over that thing. So, then it is very counterproductive to go in this train of thoughts. Like, my intellect is very good. I have a good planning intellect. My knowledge is very clear. So sometimes it may disguise, like Maya can disguise in the name of Swaman. So anything that is reinforcing ego, anything that is taking away from our eternal self is Maya. Anything, even in the name of Swaman, even if you say that, oh, I'm nobody, right? Or even if you say I am everybody, both is ego, both is Manmat, right? So this is why Baba is emphasizing that both overconfidence or low confidence or high confidence is both are body consciousness, right? So the minute you say like, oh, I am everybody, or or if you say that I am nobody, so both means you're not aligning to who you are. I am who I am, right? So I don't have to keep telling myself that, oh, I am this, I am this, I am this, right? But because we forgot who we are, it is good to remind ourselves who we are, who we belong to, what is our responsibility right now, what should I do now, right? So मैं कौन, मेरा कौन, अभी मुझे क्या करना है? This is what Dadi Janki's emphasis. So Baba is telling, so even if you get impressed by yourself, saying that, oh, my intellect is very good, planning intellect, my knowledge is very clear, no one else can do service in the way that I can. I have intense, I have innovative ideas, creative intellect. I'm virtuous, right? So I'm virtuous is okay, but like the three words Baba's saying, right? Nirakari, that is a foundation, bodilessness, and then Nirvikari, letting go of all the vices, right? Attachments, ego, kam, krodh, moh, lobha, ahankar. And then Nirahankari. So we will end up getting ego of letting go of all of the vices. So that ego itself will trap us. So that is why there is another word, another practice, Nirahankari. Letting go of that arrogance that comes from letting go of the vices. You have to let go of even that. Otherwise, you get trapped. Again, you go back to the same rabbit hole. So do not become impressed with yourself in this way. You have specialities. You have a planning intellect. But who made you instrument for the service? Did you know what service is? We didn't even know what service is until Baba came and tell, right? This is why for self-progress, it is essential to be merciful accurately on the basis of knowledge. What is mercy for the self in this context? So anything, when we realize that, oh, whatever I'm thinking, it is taking away from my very purpose of why did I come to Gyan, right? So we are here not to create Nam Sham, right? We are not here for that because we know that is what has burnt us down. This is not another corporate ladder that we want to climb in Brahmin family. So we know why we are here for. So in the name of that also, if you get trapped, it is a caution. So Baba is cautioning us. Have mercy on yourself that sometimes Maya disguises because it is very deep. It is very subtle also. Maya is as subtle as the soul. Maya is as subtle as Baba. And that is why Baba says like the other one who can who is as powerful as me is Ravan and Maya. Right? So because it becomes so subtle after a point, we use Gyan to empower Maya after a point. So Baba is telling, have mercy. Am I empowering Maya or am I empowering myself? Right? This is why for the self-progress, it is essential to be merciful accurately on the basis of knowledge. Then both Grina and Irsha will finish. The main reason for the lack of fast speed is Grina and Irsha, or becoming impressed by others or by yourself. So all of these things are headwinds that is going to hold you back. The fourth thing is carelessness. This happens anyway. It will happen. We will become ready on time. This is carelessness. Bab Dada has told you something amazing previously too. The far-sightedness of Brahmin souls is very clear, but your near sight is little weak. This is why the weakness of others are seen very quickly, whereas weakness of our own weaknesses are not seen. Right? So this is very deep. No matter how many times we read, there's always some subtle nuances that we can always pick up. Right? So we continue. To have a feeling of mercy, become loveful and also merciful. For by doing so, there will be disinterest from your heart. Vairag. Rag is the pull of the heart. It is an emotion, it is a force. It is not just a thought. Vairag is not a thought. Vairag is a distaste. And then the taste is an experience. And who actually experiences it is the heart who experiences. Mind is just mind. It is just a thought, right? It does not, it is neutral. So heart has a taste. Oh, it likes it or don't like it. So Baba says, to have a feeling of mercy, become loveful and also merciful. For by doing so, there will be disinterest from your heart. When you hear this, or when you have a bhatti or a spiritual chit chat, you all think this is what we have to do. There is a temporary disinterest. It isn't from the heart. It is like, oh yeah, it makes sense. I shouldn't be doing this. It is a realization from the head, and because it is coming from the head, it is temporary. It isn't from the heart. Heart is like, oh, I don't like what I feel. So when it is coming from your heart, like I don't like what I feel, this does not feel good. So then we will do something long term. There should be disinterest in the heart for whatever Baba doesn't like. Even you yourself don't like something. But now use the plow of having the vairagya, behad ka vairagya vritti, the attitude of unlimited disinterest. And what is Baba using that as? The analogy is a plow. Plow is like you have to dig it from deep down. Become merciful. Some children say many good things. They say, I get very angry when someone does not tell the truth. I get angry because of their lies or when someone makes a mistake. Otherwise, I don't get angry. Let's take a minute to digest this thing. I get very angry when someone does not tell the truth. Right? I get angry because of their lies or when someone makes a mistake. Otherwise, I don't get angry. It is understood that the other one told lies and that you consider that to be wrong. However, when you become angry, do you think that is right? So now let's take a pause and then digest this one. Right? Somebody saying right or wrong, and then we say that that is I cannot accept it, right? And then the second thing is we becoming angry for whatever reason, right, wrong, whatever reason. Is that right? So in other words, if you actually see the first part, when we see somebody is saying, somebody is blaming you for something that you haven't done, what does it do? It provokes, right? It is direct attack, like they are blaming you for something, and then they're telling something that you did which you haven't done, and then what it is doing to you, what it is doing to your heart, it is an attack. It is an attack on your sense of self. It is attack on your integrity, right? So then what will that attack do? It will immediately start defending. I think it's today's Murli, right? In Sunday's Murli, Baba was telling, like, why do people get angry? Because they feel insulted. So they feel denied. So what is getting denied is your ego is in attack, right? So when your ego is in attack, what will happen? You immediately get into that builds a stress, that builds a tension, and that tension leads to anger, right? So our attention is on the trigger. You said something, and that triggered, that attacked my integrity, and then I go into a survival mode or defensive mode, and that creates a stress reaction, and that stress is expressed in the form of anger, right? So whereas when Baba says that when you become angry, do you think that is right? So now the question of right and wrong is not on the trigger. Right and wrong is at the level of heart. What you're feeling, is that a right feeling? So now if you start asking this question of like, is this feeling justified? No, there is nothing justified. Is anger ever justified according to Baba and according to the Gyan? So Baba says like, yeah, he said like, yeah, you cannot use anger. So you cannot use whatever it is. Anger is not your weapon, right? So, but we use anger. And why do we use anger? Because it is attacking your identity. So if your identity is a threat, it creates a reaction, and that reaction comes out as an anger, right? So then Baba says like, what is the solution Baba gave in Sunday Murli? He said like who are you? What is in threat? So if you know that you are the soul, you are this elevated soul, and then you know that what is in threat, it is not, your identity is not in threat. But only when I hold my sense of self, my identity, in that limited, how people look at me, which is a limited vision of the self, then that will be under attack, and that provokes this anger reaction. So anyhow, Baba is bringing our attention back to have mercy on yourself. Then sometimes Baba says like, okay, uh, when you become angry, do you think that is right? How can a person who is wrong correct someone else who is wrong? How could something such a person says makes an impact? You do not see your own mistake at that time. So this is where Baba is talking about far-sighted and short-sight, long sight and short sight, right? So when we wear the glasses, sometimes we have short sight, sometimes we have long sight. So then we have to put the magnifying glass to look at something which is close. So Baba is telling you have a long sight, you can see the weakness of the others, but you don't have a short sight. You cannot see what is within you. So how could something such a person say make an impact? You do not see your own mistake at that time, but you make a big thing of a little lie that someone else spoke. Because become merciful at such a time. So at that time, when we are mindful, when we observe ourselves, what's going on here, the whole situation, where is all of this reaction coming from? So that is where mercy is needed. Self mercy for the self, or that is where self compassion is needed, self kindness, and all of that stuff. Become merciful with the powers you have attained from the Father and give cooperation. Become merciful. And then how can we have mercy on our own self? Because there is a reaction going on inside with the powers that we have attained from Baba. So, what is the power that we received from Baba that can help with this reaction, internal reaction? Power of Gyan, power of three worlds. And today's Murli also, Baba gave this drill. So the drill is go to the safety of the silence world. Go into the safety of the silence world. Put a full stop to that. Because pull your head and heart out into the soul world. Go into this eternal and wear this eternal lens. Look from the lens of eternity. And then that itself is a power. And then become merciful with the powers you have attained from the Father and give cooperation. Cooperate who? Cooperate with the self. Right? So we are going through a situation. Cooperate with yourself to pull yourself out of that situation. How? With the powers that we received from the Father. And the power of Gyan, power of the three worlds, power of the three forms that Baba asking us to do the drill. By doing the drill, we get the power. The power to become soul conscious, angelic conscious, and then Brahman conscious. Soul conscious, you're free, angel full of virtues, and Brahmin, your master almighty authority, being a Brahmin, your God's helper. So have this drill. That is what Baba is asking us, even to get over this problem of anger. You keep a good aim that you are saving that person from telling lie. Right? What about us? The aim is good. So congratulations for that. However, what was the result? The other one failed and you also failed. So eventually both went down. Right? Of course, he already lied. So he went down because of his lying, and then we get provoked, and then we both went down. It's like each crab pulling each other's leg and then both going down the hill. Right? So how can someone who has failed make other one who has failed pass? Some of you then think that it is your responsibility to make other person good and make him move forward. Baba also addressed this thing about the responsibility in today's Murli. Who has the biggest responsibility? Brahma Baba had the biggest responsibility. He was always carefree, always cheerful. And then he had the biggest responsibility of the whole yagya, not only yagya, for the whole universe. He is the Prajapita. He is responsible for everybody's salvation. So Shiva Baba is there, but he is incorporeal. But on grounds, he is responsible. So who has the biggest responsibility? Just follow Father, right? So that's what Baba was telling. Some of you then think that it is your responsibility to make other person good and make him move forward. But those of you who are fulfilling the responsibility, have you fulfilled your own responsibility at the time that you are fulfilling the responsibility for the others? When some become instrument teacher, they think that they are responsible for the little ones and that they have to give teachings to them, that they have to teach them. However, you must always think that the knowledge that is accurate will be the source of income. The knowledge that is accurate will be the source of income. If you give teaching on the basis of the responsibility of the teacher, then first see whether there will be an income accumulated through those teachings. Is there any benefit that is coming out of this thing? Whether it will be a source of income or whether it will be a source of falling down. Because whatever I'm trying to act on, it is making me go down because it is provoking me. I'm getting irritated, and then we are both going down. It is a lose-lose game. This is why Babdada always says that whenever you perform any action, stabilize yourself in the stage of Trikaldarshi and then perform. So this is another technique Baba is giving. Being a Trikaldarshi. So think about the consequences of what benefit am I going to get out of all of these things. Should I engage? Should I not engage? Right? Let go. Or should I engage? And then should I respond or not respond? Sometimes whatever is in the drama, let it happen. If any action that is coming out of provocation or anger, that itself becomes a vikarma because it is driven out of, even if you say right thing, because it is charged with anger, you lose the score. You don't score on that because it is acted on the base of anger, and then what gets reinforced by acting on that is only the anger, right? So indirectly we are reinforcing the sanskara of anger or empowering the anger because we think that is the way to go, because that, and then we justify it. So in other words, we keep that force alive. So this is why Bab Dada always says that whenever you perform any action, stabilize yourself in the stage of Trikaldarshi and then perform. Is there, what is the consequence of this in the long term, right? Do not simply see the present. This one did this, so I said this. It should not be immediate. Take a pause and then respond. Also see what the future result will be. Is your stage according to what the past original eternal stage of Brahmin souls was, is, and will be? Check all three aspects of time. Is your stage according to what the past original eternal stage of Brahmin souls was, is, and will be? Check all three aspects of the time. So do you understand what Bab Dada wants? Let's see. Can go a little further. Oh, I think we are already 5:15. Let's pause and then we can continue later. I just want to give a pause here. Let's meditate on what Baba is sharing. Take a minute to observe. What are the forces that is creating my stage, my sthiti? In order to know the forces, bring your attention to what's on the mind. Thoughts are the messengers of our inner world. Our mind will become silent when our heart relaxes or our heart calms down. So align what you're feeling based on Gyan, who you are, who you belong to, where we are from, and what really matters now. bring that sense of calmness to your heart. And that will stabilize our sthiti. Bring that calmness with the smriti. Smriti of who we are, who we belong to, and what really matters now. Allow this Trikaldarshi awareness to open your heart, to let go of anything that is bothering, or to let go of anything that is destabilizing the heart, our stage. Om Shanti. Come back. Anyone wants to share anything? Any questions, comments?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Kalpesh
Thank
bhai.
you, Father. Thank you, Divine Family. That's a wonderful Murli. And one important aspect also I got from today's Murli now, that mercy for self, and when with this mercy we have this feeling of that mercy, then whoever in our family, that's family means we are means we so we build our community family. So we look as look our children. So we also look others like that. That is a wonderful. That's my thought. And second important thing that when we anger, someone is angry and we are getting angry. So this is also a very Baba is in, given that example. That's very good. Yeah, to understanding. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Mm, thank you. And especially in the real big games, like serious games, like uh, especially Wimbledon and things like that. There's a lot of mind games that are being played. Of course, everyone has the talent, but they also play the mind games. So here is also the same thing. Maya also plays the mind game and then takes you away from what you're really capable of tackling, right? So even in the games, they provoke you, and then they destabilize your focus, and then that's it, and then they tackle you. Maya does the same thing. Yeah, Bijat bhai.
Yeah, Shanti, thank you. So, for that obstacles, right? The four obstacles that will become obstacle in our progress. So, not to create that fast progress in the self. So, carelessness is again very subtle, right? So, it's very difficult to understand, and I feel um, becoming impressed by the self is, I think, one thing that it'll be very difficult to catch within the self because impressed by others sometimes, yes, we might sometimes catch that, but again, impressed by the self is, how can we really differentiate between the self-respect and the self? Because of course. We always want to keep a high self-esteem about the self, right? So sometimes that can also become an obstacle in this. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's really a very subtle aspect. In the name of Swaman, we become really arrogant or become really bossy. Uh, and but one thing that for me personally, uh, so then what to think, what not to think. So it always I think the litmus test is always uh, not in what you're thinking or what you're saying or what you're doing, but what is your stage? What is the feeling? Stage is nothing but what's going on in your heart, right? So then if I, irrespective of what's happening, just if I bring my attention to what is the feeling that is driving this. So then if I can sense that, oh, there is this sense of, there is a little charge, you know, in what I'm saying. Of course, there is a power in soul consciousness, but that power becomes very natural power, right? If somebody is soul conscious and then they're saying something, and then their words have a power, so that is natural. There is no force to that thing. But when there is a little bit of pride, so the pride that comes from like, look, I'm better than you, right? And then there is this charge that has like, I'm better than you, right? And then we force ourselves, even if somebody who's ajnani means like somebody who does not know gyan, and then who are the extreme lost case, even with them I cannot say that I'm better than you. And that will only trigger or feed Maya or Ravan. Because one of the big heads of Ravan is arrogance. And we end up feeding the ego. I am who I am. I don't have to prove, I don't have to force my will on others. But my presence should make a difference. In other words, that I'm not saying that I can do all the time, but when I bring my attention to what is that charge inside my heart, what is it that is making me say what I say, that bringing attention to that opens up, like, oh my god, so I'm feeding anger, I'm feeding ego. And then I do feel that I do feel that I become angry or I become arrogant. And then but at least the the win is, before it gets too out of control, if I can catch myself, I can reduce, I can do a damage control immediately. Or if I can catch before anything else happens, so then I avoid the whole fiasco, So the attention more on that feeling, so more on that charge that is making me say what I say. Right. So there is nasha of ruhaniyat. So that is like it is not like, for example, here somebody saying like, or somebody is blaming you. So then you get triggered, right? So then I know that something inside me is getting triggered. You may be saying right or wrong, irrespective of that, but what you say is actually triggering what is inside me. So then I know, like, oh my God, so I have this thing going on still, right? So then I have to navigate around. But nobody can provoke soul consciousness. Provoke means like nobody can get upset by you being soul conscious. They only can feel love. They only can feel mercy. They only can feel power. They only can feel more compassion coming out of you when they bring the best in you. Follow, right?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Shabai,
Mhm.
but again, time is going to get over, I think. There
Mhm.
was this question which I put even in the chat box.
Mhm.
Like when Baba says merciful, accurate mercy is that which is
Mhm.
based on knowledge. So I just
Mhm.
wanted to know, and he says if there is merciful accurately on the basis of knowledge, then there'll be no jealousy, there'll be no dislike, there'll be no impression, and there'll be no careless. So that was my question even yesterday. I think when I wanted to know if you can just give in, if suppose there's time today, no, or even tomorrow. How can accurate mercy, which is based on knowledge? So we know what you mean by we have to know the whole knowledge of mercy, not just forgive and forget just like that, but it has to be for a reason. That's called as the law of mercy. So, and based on knowledge. So my question was, how will it remove jealousy and dislike? And today again, there was another thing when you started. If I have love in my heart, and if I'm merciful in my heart, what is the disinterest? How will disinterest be created? Love and mercy in my heart is equal to disinterest gone. So that's what I wanted to know. How does the disinterest go? What is the role of love and mercy in my heart? For what I have disinterest, is it just disinterest in things which Baba doesn't like? Or what is the disinterest? Even that one sentence of that paragraph, the beginning sentence, some explanation
Disinterest.
I have.
Yeah, sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupt. Disinterest of weaknesses. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. So, 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 so there is one way of interpreting what Baba is telling. When I bring my attention to what he's saying, looking at the concept, looking what is right, what is wrong, and just imagine whole of this thing, whatever Baba is telling, is translated into the language of the heart. So everything you translate into a feeling, right? So what is a feeling feels, what is a anger feels like? What is uh, somebody telling lies feels like for me? So, and when Baba says like Baba does not like this, not what they say or what they don't say. So what energy is going on in your heart, that is what Baba does not like. So if I bring my attention, whatever Baba said, all of these concepts of grina, jealousy, and jealousy is also not just to focus on the expression part of the jealousy. Like if I'm jealous, so I will be downplaying you, right? So, or if I'm jealous, I will be walking away, I will be having a dislike for you, right? So but all of this thing is an expression part of it. But if you go one step deeper and then look what's going on in the heart, is that which does not like Baba like. So it's not about the expression. Baba is going one step behind. So if we convert everything into the language of the heart, so which is like what feelings are driving all of this. And if you see, Baba says the vairagya vritti and the smriti, and vritti and smriti is connected to the heart, not actually to the head. Head is just the sign, it is just the messenger of what's going on in the heart space, right? So if I start working on that heart, vritti is also what? It is a force, it is an energy that is forced in some wrong direction, right? So Baba says like vairagya vritti, which is like vairag for what? Vairag for that energy that is driving anger. Anger itself is a force, right? So to have disinterest or distaste for that force, don't engage with that, don't try to appease, or don't try to um, follow through that force of anger that is in the heart space, right? So every time all of these things, anger, dislike, jealousy, carelessness also, how does that translate into carelessness? Is like laziness, and carelessness is like, how does the heart feel? Like no energy, exhausted, oh kal kar lenge, baad mein kar lenge. So it is like lack of energy, lack of momentum, right? It's again coming back to the heart, right? So when I convert all of that into emotions and feelings, and then dislike for that thing, what will it replace? It will replace force, it will make you more alive, more energetic, more, and that is the gyan. So mercy based on gyan is changing the energy in our heart based on the truth. So then that transformation will definitely come out positive. And that's how I am interpreting this, Murli. So maybe we can go a little further in tomorrow's session, conversation. Yeah. So let's take a minute to meditate before we wrap up. As you fully relax, bring your attention to your heart. Go back to that drill Baba asking us to do of the three forms: incorporeal, very comfortable at home, very light, very relaxed. Restoring your eternal stage. Full of all virtues. In this body of loving feelings, full of virtues in your angelic presence. Everything in your heart is in alignment with Gyan, making you the most powerful Master Almighty Authority as a Brahmin. Continue to keep Baba's company, stay colored in Baba's company for the rest of the day. Om Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Harsha Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a lovely day.